Hello, hello. I think my camera is off. Oh, no, I am. Hi, Happy New Year to you all. We are just about, well, it's the top of the hour, 1:30 here Eastern time. We are back in this lovely studio, thanks to our partners at Sandridge for hosting us again for the first 2024 What's Up Wednesday Live. And so today we are really hoping to pack you full of not only, of course, recipe innovation to fuel your menus, but we know New Year's start with new resolutions and new ideas. Today's show, we're going to talk a little bit through what we're going to start the year with, like everybody else. If you've dusted off your treadmill, maybe purchased a Peloton, everybody starts their fitness goals at the beginning of the 2024 January. Hopefully it hasn't fallen off the rails. We're on the 24th day, in case you're keeping track like I am. But we have today a discussion relative to financial fitness. And so we thought, just like personal wellness and fitness, now's the time for lots of reasons for our schools to kind of dust off their key performance indicator monitoring, look at plate costs. We all know there's been some changes that we want to address proactively and give you innovative solutions to feel comfortable navigating commodities and all that fun stuff. So today we're going to have with us a great panel. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about this financial fitness with one of my dear friends and colleagues, Lynn Shavinsky, and along with some of my industry partners, including our logistical partner in this region, Gordon Food Service. And again, that panel is really meant to inform a process of thinking creatively and proactively to make sure you don't hit any of those pitfalls in your wellness journey and stall out, right? So we want to look at this as a team, talk about how sometimes when you go to group exercise or you have an accountability buddy like we do with industry partners, it really does fuel you to feel like you're not alone in the journey of writing some of the goals that you have relative to making sure your plate is well costed, you're understanding fair market value and commodity and all that fun stuff. So we will be talking a little bit about, of course, what we do with that information and share with you some of the resources we've started developing that we're happy to share out. And then also we are going to be talking, of course, about our menu ideas as we look towards fun things like February and Heart Health Month and Valentine's Day and maybe a little surprise Punchki Donut Day thrown in there for treats on Fat Tuesday. We're also going to be ending with what I hope you all tuned in for, which I'm excited about, is our second annual launch of our mystery chef competition. And so full day, we'll have some cooking, we'll have all that fun stuff. But right now we're going to start with our panel. And I'm going to have David let Lynn join us here, who graciously talk about a woman who is dedicated to not only K-12. I'll let her talk a little bit about her background if you don't know her. She works with us on our team to help with Healthy Meal Planner Pro. And that is, again, a software that is USDA approved that helps us navigate all of the rules and regulations to not only create cycle menus that help schools be successful, but gives you tools and resources that you can make informed decisions. So with our panel, I'm going to welcome up here to front stage people that were able to come with us live. We have Holly McGarry, who is one of our industry partners. Holly, come on up. She is one of my favorite, like, oh my gosh, I have a question, phone a friend. So she's here today with me in studio, and I'm going to give some perspective of how, when I first got some information about what we're doing in the world of changing some of our commodities on our cycles, why I phone a friend all the time, because it's a good practice. And then last but not least, I'm going to invite my GFS partners up here who are with us today, Roger Brogini and Nicole Patton. They are going to join us because, we can't give good service unless we get it. And so it doesn't get on the train unless it gets to the school building. So this kind of powerhouse, we just really wanted to have a mind meld of sorts about when we were posed with, hey, commodity money is changing a bit. We're going to run out of it perhaps sooner than we had anticipated. We no longer may have DOD money, which means produce. Pasonic is heavy in providing fresh produce daily. So I really had to circle the wagons, and we've said this before, it takes a village to run programs well. And so we're going to launch right into this and go through a couple of slides. So Lynn, welcome. I hope you're comfortably happy on vacation. And you are certainly with us. We are so pleased you're here with us in studio. Talk to us a little bit about financial fitness and just give a quick introduction to yourself.
My name is Lynn Chavinsky. I work with Healthy Pro. I've been with them for almost 11 years. And when we first started, but prior to that, I was a food service director in 3 different states, Washington State, California, and then Connecticut, where I'm based now. So got a good understanding of a variety of different ways that people do things and different groups throughout the country. So bringing that piece to Healthy Pro then allows me to understand that things are different in different parts of the country. And so like the challenges that Ohio is facing right now with commodities, and other states have, piles of money that they're trying to spend because they've changed how they're counting. So Healthy Pro tries to offer a menu planning system that works across the board, is USDA approved, but also looks at the whole picture. And one of the big focuses that we have is kind of working with the end in mind that the menu does drive your business. So everything comes back to what you put on that menu and how it gets to those students. So
Amen. So for those of you who don't know, the financial fitness journey for Lynn and I started way back even before the pandemic. And so in the chat, Marge is going to drop in a link that our friend Laura from Healthy Pro provided for us. There is an archive of the first ever financial fitness journey that Lynn and I took together, which I think is, they call it evergreen because, we all, just like we get into our exercise programs to get ourselves ready for whatever, season of life we are in. Voting season for me, being able to get ready for that is really, on my mind when I think about my exercise program. But when I think about the journey of consistency and doing something sustainably, I think it really does matter how you attack that, right? So is it on your, like I always say, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen, right? Same thing, personal exercise and wellness, the same thing goes with, the next slide here, Financial Fitness 24. We are going to reboot this. So not only do we have the historical information about what we established as our foundational evergreen content, we are going to revamp that. And that webinar, again, the link will be dropped into the chat for you, as well as sent in our post recap of today's session. February 1st, we get to be together again, my friend. So you'll have lots of fun analogies about the only bad workout is the one you don't do, because that's the god awful truth. And if you have had your treadmill be your coat hanger, we're going to ask you to take that coat off and get on the journey with us again. But we are going to create more content relevant to today's market. And that, we just wanted to give you a little bit of a highlight. So Lynn, I'm going to say, we have this intention, right? Best intentions, 2024, the ball drops and it's January and everybody gets on their plan. Let's talk a little bit about how, we think that through when we talk about this Financial Fitness 24.
So to the fitness side of things, we want you to think about the whole self. And one of the big pieces is that, some things are not within your control. So you may want to become physically fit and you may think, oh, great, I'm going to run a marathon, but maybe that's just too much of a leap. So you have to start with intention about what can you control? What are the things that you can do? And financial fitness, same thing. What is it that you actually can impact? Because there are a lot of things going on out there. You have distributors who are trying to get product, manufacturers who have cut back product and lines. So you'll hear a little bit about that down the road. Things like your commodity processing, where you may have wanted to be, expecting a certain amount of commodities that were going to come in, but now those dollars are either reshifting or they're unavailable to get those particular products. These are decisions that have been made outside of your realm. And so, you have to learn how to work within that. And then a third option, obviously, are price adjustments. There are, we thought maybe things were going to be a little more stable after a while ago, but there are just so many things that are influencing that. So if you decide you want to be intentional in terms of what you do, it's really about not reacting and developing a plan so that you can plan for what you can control. And the one thing that you can do with that is your menu. So focusing on your menu is that way that you're going to get to at least be able to think about what is it that I need to do? What is the plan that I need to put in place related to my menu specifically?
Yeah, I love it. Make a plan and work the plan. You and I talk about that all the time. And when I work our plans, many of our clients do use Healthy Pros. So the next slide is going to show you, when we are putting in data that we can trust, we are able to reap the benefits of some data analysis. And so when we talk about fitness, people will get on a scale, they'll take measurements, they'll maybe see if they have a body fat percentage they want to look towards. So, this is my correlate when you talk about financial fitness and menuing. This dashboard, it has been developed, and again, through the USDA approved software, if it's fully utilized and you're using online production records, which we'll talk a lot more about on February 1st in our webinar exclusively, this is the type of data that helps you drive decisions. So Lynn, talk a little bit, just about this menu optimization piece that your software provides.
So this is everybody's favorite report because A, it's colorful, B, it's pretty obvious in terms of how it works. And just like Maureen said, it allows you to get the feedback. It's like stepping on the scale. Like, what exactly is going on with my menu? It looks at two different factors. It looks at cost, the cost of the center of the plate, and participation. And both of those are relative in this report. So you can run this to be just for one school, for all of your schools, for all the lunch programs. And you don't necessarily have to even have Healthy Pro to run this report. It's really about running the cost and running the participation numbers. And that's what you're seeing in the bottom part of this. So there are some fun names related to menu optimization. A rock star is just what you would figure. It's a product that is very profitable. So it's high profitability and high participation. So it's great that you have rock stars, but frankly, not all of your menu is going to be rock stars. So you have to balance out the other things that are going to be on your menu. If you look at the concept of how many rock stars do I have, there's not enough to fill most of your cycles, let alone like a secondary program that may have multiple choices. So there are positions for everything. So dogs, while cute in many people's eyes, are not necessarily something that you want on your menu in a large quantity. Dogs in this case, though, have a place. So for instance, there may be a choice that you have to offer, like a vegetarian choice, where the participation may not be skyrocketing, it may not be huge, but it's definitely meeting a niche that you have, and it's providing a choice for students who may not otherwise participate. So it doesn't have high participation. Generally, it's going to be maybe a little bit higher in cost, but it does have a place on your menu, just not on a regular basis to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have puzzles and workhorses. And puzzles and workhorses, sometimes I get them backwards, so I have to check. Puzzles are high profitability, but low popularity. And if you think about that, one of the things that comes to mind is this could be a commodity product where you're offsetting some of your costs because maybe it's not the most popular item, like a hamburger patty. Like maybe a cheeseburger is more popular, or maybe a chicken sandwich is more popular, but it offers, again, that choice, and enough students will take it that it's keeping your costs a little bit lower to be able to, again, appeal to the overall population to make sure that you are getting that participation.
Yes.
And then the last item, oh, sorry, Maureen, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in the wise words of David Pisonic, inspecting what you expect, right? That's his tailored comment when I start talking about workhorses and puzzles and all this jazz. It really is, the benefit. And go ahead and share your insights on workhorses, because I think, most of us, you hit a couple trigger words, and that's why we have our partners here. this now I'm looking through this with like a new set of glasses, and maybe they're not all rose, right? So like some of my rock stars might be some of the commodities we're worried about going out of stock, right? Or logistically that your commodity dollars have ran out and are now going to escalate the price, so that they might have been a rock star and now they go into a place of difference on this chart of identifying, are they going to work with me on my menu still? And I think you had another point that, just in brief, more to come in February when we talk about this together. It's not an all or nothing endeavor, and it is an evolving process, and it's about knowing, right, and making strategic choices on the frequency these things come up on your cycle menu, not only to help with leveling the playing field as we look at these 4 categories, but informing your broker manufacturer partners and your logistical partners of what your change is. Because if you don't tell anybody and it's your own secret and it looks nice on a report like this, unfortunately, what happens?
We're not going to have it in stock.
So yes, that it takes a village, and I circle the wagons whenever I kind of go through this thought process. But the idea here with us in this workhorse, give us your wisdom on like what should we be striving for, Lynn?
Well, in a workhorse, a lot of times, as you said, what will happen is the price of a particular item goes up, or you run out of commodity, and now you're having to purchase it. So now it becomes a workhorse, that color changes, and all of a sudden you're faced with, wow, I have to evaluate how this is working on my menu because I'm paying a lot more for this particular item. And is there perhaps a substitution or something else that's similar that I might be able to place in there? And how do you become aware of that? You need to be on the lookout for different products that might be able to take those place. Phone a friend, exactly.
And phone a friend and come to your friend's house and look at their chicken products, which we'll show you later on today with my buddy Pete Namus here at Sandridge. Last but not least, I know we don't have much more time, Lynn, and we appreciate you taking time out of your vacation. I so look forward to this webinar with you on February 1st. We want to leave you with actionable steps. And so I think, Lynn, when you drew up this slide and we talked about this, we really want you to join us so that you not only understand this all a little bit more, maybe feel more confident about making decisions and changes, but, make a plan and then work the plan, right? So some actionable takeaway items. And so just, real quickly, talk a little bit about how we're building this menu of solutions around some of these key points.
Right. So looking at some of the things that are mentioned here about popularity, can you get the product on a regular basis so that your kids are A, not going to be disappointed, or B, you're not going to be, it's not going to be chaos in your kitchen because you're trying to adjust things. Go through each one of the items, and that's going to be how you're going to make those changes for setting up your cycle or introducing a new product. Where can you find some holes that are potentially affordable or affordable alternatives, and then work through each one of these segments and ask yourself those questions about how does this play in. So again, whether you have the tools specifically that are going to give you feedback on participation and cost, you can do it this way too, just writing out your menu grid and designing what is going to work over the course of the time, the whole menu cycle. So it's not a one-day look, it's over the course of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I love this. If this at all sparks your interest, please, again, the link to register for February 1st is dropped in the chat. We'll send it in the post recap. Lynn, you always inspire me based on not only your history, but your love of the work we do. And, this isn't a commercial for Sonic, and it's not a commercial for Healthy Pro. It's a commercial for us to tell you we're part of your village. So invite us in, join us on February 1st. We have some good ideas and we love to share them. And regardless if you have this program or not, or you use the online production record, the idea around Financial Fitness 24 is really just to empower you to feel like you can make informed decisions and you have the needed data to make those plans and then work your plan. So Lynn, I'm going to let you go vacation. Thank you. Have a fun rest of your week, and it's us. So
yeah.
As we move forward, there has been a lot of talk in our state, in particular, about the status of commodities and what that means for not only our produce program with some of the changes in the DoD, but also our center of the plate, right? So I'm just going to give you a short commercial for what I did as soon as I got the email and attended the town hall webinar from ODE. If you haven't done that, again, We will share a copy of the slides if you haven't already seen them. They're in download forms on ODEW's website, talking a little bit about their position on the changes that we're all talking about. I phoned a friend. First of all, I ran my report. So I work directly still with Hudson City Schools as their lead. We ran our landed detail report. We landed our manufacturer report, our spend by manufacturer, our top 3 items. You know, there was a grid in true Kim Saborik and Maureen Pasonic fashion. Our conference table was full of old school papers with my highlighter and my ruler, because I was like, you know, marking up all my pages, really trying to understand where our investment on their cycle menu is. And if we were on the hot list, which is the list of items that are now turning funky colors. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, because, you know, the first thing I wanted to know is what's on my cycle that I use the most, that I'm spending the most of my commodities on. And A, am I going to be able to afford it if I run out of commodity money? Or B, if it goes away due to some of the sweeping changes, what am I going to substitute it with? Or how am I going to amend my cycle menu? So I called you, right? Yes, yes. And I'm going to let Holly talk a little bit. If you don't know Holly McGarry, obviously, colleague, dietitian, friend of the business for a long, long time, and has, you know, a wealth of knowledge about the commodity processing and how, again, inspecting what you expect, looking at your numbers helps you truly make the best decisions.
So I would say, I mean, some of the most important things right now is to make sure you are going in and checking where you stand, running your reports, whether you are with the commodity co-op or if you're with direct diversion. I'm in there every day checking to see what we're looking like, what our balances are. But I would say that's the first line of, you know, of defense, if you will, is to go in and take a look at to see where you stand. The other thing is too, we've got a whole community, like Maureen said, with, you know, phone a friend, to reach out to us and see, like, is there something that we know, like, it looks like we're going to make it through the entire school year. And we're not going to run out, or are there recipes even that we could use to modify to maybe we can extend that product so you're not using it as much, and then maybe it would bring your price point down. So I would say there's a lot of different options like that you can reach out to your broker and manufacturers. But again, and I know GFS is going to talk about this a little bit, but the communication is key. So if we are consistently looking at items that you've had on your menu and now you're going to change things, you know, we need to know from a manufacturer and vendor perspective what you've got on your menu, or if you're making any changes, if something's coming off the menu and you're adding something different, so we can continue to monitor those balances as well.
Yeah, I love it. So as much as I draw information from the broker community, I think it is great to mention that reciprocal communication and what we can bring in terms of the value of our data to help them help us.
Right.
So it is very symbiotic. We were able to meet with a group and you were on that call. I thought that was awesome. So the other thing, phone a friend is awesome, because I'll tell you, Michelle Verdell, we had Todd from Tyson, we had, of course, Allison Powers from JTM. I don't know if anybody's on with us today. Feel free to come off mute, because boy, we were talking on Friday. Yeah. And some of the highlights we have, and we'll share out in post recap. You know, JTM, Allison Powers, you know, her background in schools in Ohio in the region. She really already is leveraging, like, hey, if you're worried about your taco crumbles, here are some options, here are some thoughts. We've been looking at their plant-based crumbles because of not only cost and availability, but, you know, some of our schools are really wanting to do meatless Mondays and other plant-based innovation. So they're taking perhaps a challenge or a problem like running out of commodity beef and going, hey, let me try my plant-based options now. And it's awesome, because instead of just, you know, really being, down about the change, they're using it to innovate their menu. And that's wonderful, and what we love to support at Pasonic. One thing Todd said from Tyson that really resonated with me is use your money, spend your money. So spending your money on your PAL report is so important this year, because there's going to be no carryover. Right. So knowing your data, running your reports, and not getting an oops moment. I mean, Roger was chatting earlier about an oops moment that I think it's good to highlight here. So what happens when you run out of commodity money? What does that look like for you guys?
It looks on your invoice, all of a sudden you have all this detail of how your commodities is being used, and then it comes to just straight cost. And you want to make sure you are aware of that before the time comes. So everyone's talking about this pre-planning. I cannot encourage. Gordon does not control the commodity dollar. We help you with some icons, and we're going to go over that in a minute, but you really want to know where your money is and how you need to spend it. before you run out. Because
Absolutely.
then it's panic mode.
Absolutely. No panic. No panic at Pisanic, none. The next slide, we talked with these great brokers. This is an example, Michelle Verdell. She is great as another broker partner that sends us information. And so this is a SWEPC example of what they're already looking at by manufacturer with the USDA code and what products will be impacted. And again, it's blown up in color here lately. So, these colors obviously depict what's good to go. And so there are some commodities that are still good to go. So it's not a moment of panic, right? We want to be a wet blanket on the fire. There are going to be commodity options. If you're smart about your cycle planning, you're going to be good to go. So please don't panic, just have a good plan. But part of having a good plan is being proactive about things that turn yellow and red and not waiting until you get a surprise invoice and go, wow, that's way more than I wanted on my plate cost. And I'm going to have to find a substitution, right? So we're going to talk through some of that, but I'm going to hand it over to Gordon for a couple of slides. And then, we can go on and on about this. The one thing I will say is, please, if no other time, read your emails, right? So the items of interest from ODEW and Nicole and her team at Gordon has been putting out some really great information. So I'm going to hand it over and let you talk about that.
Yeah, thanks, Maureen. I'm actually going to let Roger talk about this slide first, and I'll jump in here in about 2 slides.
Very good. Well, I was already mentioning about the different icons. When you're on your ordering screen, and it's important that you go over this with your team members in the schools, because you as a food service director may not be placing the order, but if some of your head cooks are, you want to be aware of the different icons on your ordering screen. You see on the screen there, the green is good. So for your commodities, you want to do that. But right now there's people running out of dollars. So if you see a yellow shield, that yellow shield means that you are temporarily out of money and you will be paying full price. That doesn't change once you place your order. So you want to make adjustments. If you're part of SWEPC, you can call Ashley. And if there are funds, they can move around, they can do that for you. If you're with the state, you can make adjustments there as well with direct diversion. So you can make it go green again. But right now, if the money is gone, the money is gone. So that's where some of this pre-active, knowing what you're going to do when that time comes, getting into the forms and knowing where you stand is very important. If it's a brown box item and you're out of commodity dollars, you'll see the red shield. And because it's a commodity only brown box, you are not able to order that. And if you move to the next slide, you'll see where we have put out this program or this slide where on the left side are brown box items. And to the right are the commercial equivalents, or as close to it with item codes that you'll be able to move to. So you don't necessarily have to change your menu greatly, but it is commercial price versus the commodity price. So you definitely want to be aware of that.
Yes, data. So this is a great, actually, we sliced and diced it. You guys send it out as a PDF. We changed it into an Excel spreadsheet because we like to sort and control, find, and all that jazz. I almost call it like a reverse food recall, right? So I was chatting with them about what I want to do. And that is, if I know something is a hot topic of like, we're going to run out, I want to be able to source where it's at on any of the schools we support. And be able to help you find an alternative that doesn't change your participation and popularity or impact your finances, right? So it is about inspecting this data. So we appreciate all the information. And the other information we appreciate is, where have all the DoD dollars gone? We can sing a song about it. Hopefully they come back. Many of you enjoyed using DoD to keep those produce bars that we coached you on, Eat the Rainbow, all the fun stuff we talk about with produce. We don't want it to go away. Help us.
Yes, well, thank you to the schools that have given us that business. We appreciate it for obvious reasons. And especially a big thank you to the schools who have communicated their usage with us. I ran a report, and you can see here on the screen that these are the top 30 items that schools are purchasing from us today. So I know schools like to look at that and see whatever everyone else is buying, because maybe there's some items that you weren't thinking of that other schools are also using. Also, I did want to highlight in my recent emails, again, if you're reading those, hopefully you are.
Please read them.
Please do. I did highlight 2 items that are highly credited right now. And that's because of the poor quality. So bananas is one, and so is grapes. I won't get into it, but if you read my emails, it does explain the reasons why. So if you just want to keep that in mind as you're planning your menus this year, that would be really helpful for us. We will continue to sell those, but just know that until early springtime, those will continue to experience some quality concerns with those too. Also lettuce, we didn't talk too much about those in the emails, but again, this time of the year, the colder temperatures outside are greatly affecting the quality in those products. So trying to think about some hardier lettuce blends that you can be ordering right now. So there's like a harvest blend or like a crispy kale, some different items that we are serving right now and selling to our customers that you can really rely on as far as a high quality product.
Yeah, we love a good winter power kale salad. Remember that Caesar power kale recipe? It's in Healthy Pro for you. Tap back in. And I don't know about you, but when I go even personally shopping, I buy a lot of those bags of the cheaters, I call them, from Costco if I go, to be able to like add to my leaf lettuce, to extend it and not always have to rely. And you know, you're at home picking out that nasty lettuce too. So like sometimes buying the whole instead of cheating and getting the ready set serve, even though I know we all are, myself included, want that quick fix to get that salad out. Think about those items, you know, they don't grow it and they don't drive it across the United States to bring it to us. So I know you guys get a lot of grief, but you do a nice job with communicating credits too. But from a standpoint of all of that, I think the next slide sums it up.
Yeah, so I know Holly kind of touched on this, so thank you, Holly. But communication is key. So just because you write your menus, you put them on there, doesn't mean that we're going to have all of those items in stock for you. So when you think about what to communicate, we think in quantities of typically 5 or 10 or more. So if you're looking to change your menu and add a case here and there, you don't necessarily need to communicate one individual case. But if you are making drastic changes to your menu, it is crucial for you to communicate that with us. Typically when a school does communicate, hey, Nicole, I'm taking this pizza off, adding this chicken tender. Again, Holly said, it's not only items that you're adding, it's items that you're removing from your menu so we can decrease our inventory to help us out. But just shoot us that email, phone call, whatever it is. And it typically takes about 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks for us to adjust our inventory to accommodate that. So it goes in hand with the produce. A lot of customers did a phenomenal job. And our inventory team also did a great job with taking that information and making sure that we have all those items in stock. Those top 30 items, the produce items that we were talking about, we are fully stocked on those because of those communications. So as we plan to change our menus with the commodity situation that we're in, we are also begging you to communicate any changes. So thank you in advance for doing that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, team. I'm going to bring my team on. So like we consult our village and then we still circle the wagons even tighter with my familia. So I'm going to invite Tina, I think, and Marge, because as I look at these slides, we're going to have to go through these just to give you our menu inspiration ideas. And then we'll be back at the end to cook with Holly. So we always love our Marge. And I think the slides here start with Marge, but Tina has a slide that is in here as well. And so if we can go forward to the market basket analysis, I think we're going to start there. And that is, you know, the idea is we are absolutely interested in showing you some of the work we've been doing. I think some of you might have seen this in, of course, our newsletter. We hope you're reading that one too, but also our partner. I'm a board member of Feed Our Future. Working through a market basket analysis has been Tina's labor of love. So Tina, talk a little bit about your slides here.
Okay, so no DOD, no problem. Remember, we got that came up there. They're taking our money away, and I know we all started to panic a little bit. But so first thing you have to do is start looking at other vendors. You need to compare your prices and rethink menus. And so what we did was, you know, me being a lead at Woodridge, I automatically thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So automatically you look, you go into different vendors, and we did a market basket. Went in, was able to compare prices. Again, I'm a penny pincher. So I make sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck. So we went through everything, compared our top items that we're usually picking out, and went to different vendors to see who was the best. We have, I don't know if you know, but Premier One who has always taken care of us through DOD. You are able to go through commercially now. So look into them, see if you've not, I would hope by now everybody's kind of got a plan with their produce. Because we're already, going. GFS, as we see, they've been great. They've got, they're in stock. So just kind of go through, look at your prices. It's a great tool to have and be ready to go, ready to look forward to.
We take some of the work out for you too. So it's easy to print and like just make some decisions. So we hope that we're taking some steps out of the process for you to make your informed decision. But one of the things, you're a queen of KPI. Real quick, in 20 seconds or less, fair market value. People are like, okay, Maureen, you said FMV, or that we throw acronyms around like crazy. Simply put, what is it?
Alphabet soup. Fair market value is where we get our commodities Basically, that's the amount of money in between what they take off for commodities. So our commodity money comes out of is basically our fair market value coming out of a commercial priced item. I always look at it as like when you get them medical bills and it says, well, they're going to charge you this amount, but we're going to only do this. That's kind of where that fair market value tells you, okay, we're going to give you this amount of money. So all you have to do is go into on your Pell report or into your HPS and go to your commodity products. It'll tell you right to the side. It'll tell you what the commodity price is, and it'll tell you what that fair market value is. So maybe we're paying $40 for chicken. Fair market value is going to be $20. So now we know commercially we're going to be paying $60 for that product once that commodity money is gone. So simple math, go ahead, look at it, look at your top numbers that you're spending on commodities, because again, we want to keep any commodity money we have left in the center of our plate. So go in there and look at it and see and get yourself prepared.
I love it. All right. So now we're going to jump into, we know we're all about solutions. Thank you for that. Marge is going to talk through her menu banners with Marge. So go for it. We have some good ideas we hope to inspire you.
Yes. So as we know, unfortunately in Cleveland, it is soup time. So we have been getting a lot of questions about soup and soup recipes. So what you'll see here is just through GFS, some soups that are creditable. So really important that, if you're choosing products, that you make sure that they have proper product formulation statements or child nutrition labels. And so we vetted this list. If you're someone who's looking for a ready to serve soup, these are just some options. Of course, a better option would be to do a homemade soup. And what better day to try that on February 4th happens to be National Homemade Soup Day. So of course we have in our database of recipes, many scratch-made soup recipes, always willing to share those. I've put a couple here, but we have others. So feel free to reach out if you're looking to try a homemade soup on your recipe. I think people worry about soups and making soups, but they can be really easy just to put together some frozen vegetables, some protein, really versatile and not as hard as you may think.
And make in bulk and use it. Work smarter, not harder.
Right,
Make
like I do at home.
Exactly.
Freeze some soup.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Also want to remind you, for those of you that use Healthy Pro, that they have a great wealth of what they call global recipes. So recipes that we can pull from, and then what we do is copy those and insert our ingredients, so where we're buying them from and what particular ingredient code numbers we want in those recipes. But all you have to do is go to recipes in Healthy Pro and then filter by global recipes. Just click that box. And in this example, I put soup. And again, I only put a few, but you'll get pages of different soup options.
Three Sisters.
And that can be,
That's a fun little name. I just noticed that as I looked up at the screen.
So use that as a resource if you use Healthy Pro. And then also coming up on soup is February 24th is National Chili Day. So again, we have recipes for some homemade chili. I think a little later on, we're going to be talking with Sandridge about some chili option that they have. But how can you make chili and use it in a variety of different ways? Think about, some chili on a potato bar, on fries, pasta bar, tots, so many things, especially this time of year. I think chili goes well on just about anything. So keep that in mind. And then also coming up in February 2nd is National Tater Tot Day. And we love a good tot bar. Again, very versatile. So we have some ideas here. And then we, hot off the press as always.
There's more.
Wait, there's more. Is talking about some vegetarian options with some of the plant-based crumbles. And meat substitutes that are coming out. I have the GFS numbers there for those products. We think those would be a great thing to use, not only if you're running out of commodity, some of the proteins, but as a vegetarian option as well. And then we've been really keen on some Sweet Baby Ray's hot sauces
Yes.
that are available, because this is trendy, what's your word, spicy?
Spicy, sweet and spicy.
Spicy sauces. So Sweet Baby Ray's has a hot honey sauce, very trendy and really tasty. So we thought about, how about tots with some maybe pulled pork and some Sweet Baby Ray's hot honey sauce on it. So really, again, versatile, a great way to do something with tots that's different and celebrate National Tot Day. February, the harvest of the month is carrots. And again, we have a lot of carrot recipes, but something I thought a little bit different. A recipe from our cookbook is a ranch carrot fries with a buffalo yogurt dressing. So if you're a school that can take fresh carrots and peel and chop and roast those carrots, brings out the best flavor, and then providing those with a dipping buffalo yogurt sauce is great. And then this carrot pineapple muffin, I don't know if many of you have used Gold Medal, has a whole grain muffin mix. That's a great versatile, almost canvas that you can add different things to. And so featuring carrots shredded with some pineapple in these muffins, you can also make more of like a sheet pan muffin and cut them in squares if you don't have muffin tins or don't want to do that. And very versatile, I think, would be a good option as a lower sugar
Yeah.
breakfast
Absolutely.
offering. So it's something you might want to think about for harvest of the month of carrots. We also want to feature a new product that our friend Terry, the pizza bagel lady, is featuring, these pizza pretzel bites. And so 4 of these bites count as a whole grain. And we did some recipe testing with them and feel they're really versatile. You could use them as a breakfast option or a lunch option. You could put toppings on them, or a dip that's more sweet or more savory. So we did a more savory one with a queso dip. But then also a honey mustard dip. We know kids like honey mustard.
Even hot honey.
Hot, there,
Ah,
back to that hot,
there's-
back to the hot honey. That would be a great option. And then more of a sweet, or you might want to do this as a breakfast option, would be to take the pretzel bites. We brushed them with a little bit of butter, sprayed them with some butter spray, and did like the maple sprinkles with a maple yogurt dip. So that I can picture that in those
Yeah.
cute little cups,
Yeah.
a grab and go breakfast. So something to keep in mind from Terry about pizza bagel bites. And something we were very fortunate to work with American Dairy on developing recipes coming up in February, 3-day, 5-day, a week.
I think it's a week of Slurpee.
Yes, a week of Slurpee. So a great time to try some different smoothie recipes. And I'll put that link in the chat, and we'll send out with our recap recipes. A great day to let everybody enjoy some smoothies.
Yes, we love
Okay.
that.
And we just want to also, I guess, do a gentle reminder as you're doing substitutions. I touched on making sure that products are compliant. I say don't go, off the grid, or don't go rogue. Unfortunately, we can't just order any item that we want. We have to make sure that it is properly documented and has proper documentation for crediting. So remember those CN labels or product formulation statements for any of those combination products. Of course, the nutrition. We always use the example is you don't want to stop serving whole grain and give everybody white, refined processed pizza. And then they all of a sudden start wanting that and won't want to go back to the whole grain.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So pay attention to
Yep.
that nutrition
Yep.
and price. Tina talked about that a lot. We're always here to help. At our support desk is the best way to reach out to any of us. And that's just a simple email to support@ppllc.info. Again, if we manage your menus, always helpful to provide all this data that makes the menu changes go efficiently.
Yes.
All
awesome.
right. All right.
Well, I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
We
right.
talked about all this fun menu stuff and I can't be in this kitchen without cooking with my brother and from another mother, Keith Amos. Come on
Right.
down. I'm so excited to have my friend. Holly actually is coming back on because
Yep.
if you have any questions about these products, we want to end with some inspiration. We've talked a lot about fitness, but you have to fuel yourself to exercise. So
Absolutely.
what are we fueling ourselves with today?
I think we're going to do a couple of different things. We're going
Okay.
to talk about versatility for sure. So we're going to showcase a couple different, one item, a couple different ways. And then we're also going to showcase the chili that we mentioned earlier as well too.
Commodities, I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite chilies and it's kind of fun because you can play with it. It's actually cactus.
It is
Get outta
cactus
here.
chili. Yep. So a lot of people think just because it's a cactus chili that it's spicy, but it's actually a sweet flavor between the prickly pear cactus and also the sweet corn in it. It's a very unique flavor. It's one of our top selling items for sure. But that being said, everything that we're doing today, even though we're utilizing the cactus chili today, we do have the white chicken chili. We have a chili, regular chili with beans, chili with no beans. And because of Lent coming up as well, we have the black bean chili, which is a vegetarian option as
Good,
well.
good
So
nod.
everything that we're going to show you today, that could be substituted.
Good
as
nod.
well.
And I asked for some chicken, because I know some of you guys are worried about commodities and I tried this with Mike Sandridge way back at the fall food show.
Yeah.
Fell in love with this product. I know many of us go to Costco and buy our rotisserie chicken, the loss leader to get you in the back of the store and then you end up walking out with $1,000 of other things in your cart. But rotisserie chicken has such a versatile play. And I think we've got some great inspiration for you today.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
Actually have Polly assist me here.
Yes.
This is the Vanna way.
All right. Vanna's coming back.
Right there.
I love it.
And Xavier, if we're possible, can we kick over to the top?
This chili is amazing.
So a couple different things. First, just to mention, the first thing we're using also is our fully cooked brown rice. Comes in just like this, 4 pounders ready to go. You can go right into a steamer or boiling water, 100% ready to go. In addition to the brown rice that we're showing today, we also have the chili lime rice and the cilantro lime rice as well. So for this, we're just going to keep everything real nice and simple. And this is just something a little bit different that we're going to do a little take on an old favorite here. So we're just getting the brown rice. This guy here. And again, this is with our cactus chili. And you can see right here with the live overhead, the green in here actually is the cactus. So if you've never had this, it is very, very good.
What a fun fact, little thing you could put on did you know what a prickly pear is? So it could become an educational moment, making the cafeteria an extension of the classroom like we love to do.
Yep. And then actually we just have a couple little pieces of cornbread we made here as well. So simple and easy. This is just one easy, simple dish that we mentioned. Again, this is the one we talked about utilizing different chilies all through this. And if you really want to get crazy, would you mind handing me the bottle there? Upright bottle. Yeah, thank you. We also have this on a couple different ways, just talking about cross utilization again. This is just the gochujang as well. And then the cheese sauce there, if you don't mind.
Now that's
You really
spicy,
are.
spicy
And I like
in
that.
action.
You can leave that up there. And then lastly, this is just the Land O'Lakes cheese sauce drizzled over top of this guy as well. So simple, easy, fun dish. Plus, I would imagine kids probably love cactus chili. I'm sure they probably want to get right into that as soon as you mentioned cactus, right? So
Very fun, but you also have those teachers that are influential over those elementary and middle schoolers coming down. So we all want to share the love in our school communities. If you're thinking, too wild for my kids, it's not wild for your staff. And it's always great to build your a la carte sales and cater to your staff so they don't have to go out in the cold
Yep.
And get their lunches. And so, happy teachers equal happy students equal happy cafeteria workers. So I think this is one to consider for sure.
absolutely.
What's up next?
Yep, we're gonna keep things rolling here. You wouldn't mind handing me this, the chicken and
I have a friend, another friend that I want to come over here.
yeah, so we're gonna have him come up and if that's okay, just to kind of talk about this guy first. for a second.
This product, if you haven't seen this, this is our snack and waffle product. We have Eric Smith with us today from the team over at Arlington Valley.
Thanks.
Peter, let him out. Thank you, Peter, for that. But Eric, talk to us a little bit about what we're going to do with this.
Yeah, so this is
product.
our butter maple waffle. I think a lot of you know that it comes individually wrapped. We also now offer it in bulk as well for exactly this option.
Yeah.
And so again, we make everything from scratch right here in Ohio, all maple flavored, so you don't need additional syrup. Unless you're feeling crazy and want to add a little bit more, but basically we're taking our traditional butter maple waffle, slicing it right in half because as we all know, it is pretty thick. And then utilizing the chicken for a nice compliment there.
Great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome.
All right, thank you so much. Give me those tongs if you don't mind, too, please. So what we're gonna do next, this is the first thing we're gonna show you with the rotisserie pulled chicken. So again, this is just the gochujang sauce that we're gonna go in, and we're doing a little extra here because we're gonna showcase it a couple different ways. So
And again, this rotisserie chicken, pulled chicken, if you still have commodity dollars, is a good commodity use, maybe a different application. And all of us have been looking and struggling with like vehicles, like what kids like to eat their food on. So we love the idea of a waffle.
Yep, just to mention about the chicken, this is exactly how this comes in. Again, it's a fully cooked fresh product. You're getting 5 2-pounders on this. It's completely ready to go. You just open it up and you can utilize it in any way you would like. So that's how that comes in, and that is under the Gordon label as well. So for this guy here, we're actually going to take the waffle that we had just mentioned. We did pre-slice this guy up. We're actually going to just hit this up with a little bit of the gochujang chicken again.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. And then the next thing we're actually going to do here, this one here, is actually utilize our jalapeno lime slaw. And again, this is just something flavor profile. If you feel that this is too hot, we are able to do other coleslaws that we have as well. And put this guy onto here.
I love this. Okay, so
You guys can get a little bit of better shot, or maybe actually, how about that?
yeah, it looks amazing.
There you go.
Looks amazing. So that looks like a huge portion. So I'm thinking secondary menus.
Yep.
We all know our kids love spicy. So that added spice in that cilantro jalapeno slaw is already pre-done for you as well. So if you're running short on time and you're not, making your own coleslaws, this is a really good product that allows you to add some garnish and some flavor all at the same time.
Yep.
We love this chicken idea. So keep the chicken ideas rolling.
Absolutely. So next, we're going to do the same thing like we had just mentioned. So this time we're going to start off by utilizing a whole grain flatbread that you guys brought in. So with this guy here, same exact way, nothing too crazy here. Just again, topping this off a little bit of the chicken.
You guys can see how easy this comes together,
Yep.
and also how versatile one product can look on your menu, right? So this pulled chicken really has a lot of opportunity.
Yep.
Yep.
Same product, same way. This is what it would look like going into the oven. And then again, by the magic of television, I'm gonna pull this guy out. And then this again with a little bit of the cheese sauce on here from Land O'Lakes. And it's literally that simple.
Yeah.
So again, great flavor on this. If you've never had the gochujang, it is sweet and spicy, a little bit earthy as well too. So really nice flavors on this. And I don't think it's overtly spicy. It's
No,
just
wait,
kind of nice.
it's
It's very,
spicy.
it's very
It's very
spicy.
spicy.
Yeah, very, very
And it's
spicy.
4 or less ingredients, and the steps you saw how quick. So I know a lot of times people think complexity is keeping you back from doing fun, trendy things. That can't get much simpler, folks. So we really do want you to think about this, even if, again, you're using commodity chicken shreds. We know we have some coming down from our friends at International Food Solutions that are in the pipeline in Ohio, but this sandwich product is really, really good quality. So if you're
Absolutely.
running out of that commodity money and you're looking at ways to upskill in versatile ways, that's a great product.
Plus, again, that it's fresh and refrigerated and a
Yes.
great shelf life on it, and it's ready to go at all
Yes.
times for
Yeah.
sure, too. So the last way that we were just showcasing this as well is just very simply onto this bun that you'd like to talk
Oh
about.
my God, I'm excited, guys. So you all have been asking me about buns, and I've been working, we talk about financial fitness. I've been working on buns for you all. My buns, your buns, all the buns. So we have slider rolls from Aunt Millie's, and now back is a sample of this hinged whole grain bun. So you guys have asked us for a vehicle for your meatball subs, your Italian hot sandwiches. This one showcases that same chicken product and really turned out nicely.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
holding it really well.
yeah, very well. It's again just the same exact thing. We just did the pulled chicken with this with the gochujang again, and also just the jalapeno lime slaw. So again, this is 3 different ways that we showed you to utilize actually 2 of the same products, multiple different ways here. So again, whether it's on a bun, a flatbread, or also on the sandwich there on the chicken and waffles, different version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have
Save you a
samples,
bunch of-
but this is a good point to go back to the slide that says communication, because we're communicating on your behalf, but you all need to be talking this up with Gordon Food Service and saying, I'm gonna use this much. We definitely are excited about advocating for the products you all need to make your menu hot, right? Do what it wants to do. We have more food, right?
I think that's.
I
all
think we
have.
have Eric
Oh,
back.
yes, Eric's back.
Eric back for one more thing. So, we talk about
Two things.
opportunities, and maybe stagnant on your menu a little bit, and you're thinking, hey, we ran out of commodities and I have couple things. Holly, come back in because you have this too. So I think some of you may have seen this product already. I was excited to be invited to see it in your shop there in
Yes.
Hudson. Again,
You're
local.
always the first.
Local family. David loves to eat well with Peter and his team over at Snack and Waffle, Arlington Valley Farm. So talk to us a little bit about this, which could be, I think, breakfast and or maybe lunch combo.
For sure.
What are you guys rocking?
Yeah, so this is a brand new product that we frankly accelerated the launch of based on what we heard in the marketplace, which was really the need for protein-filled handheld, specifically breakfast item, maybe morphing into lunch. So as many of you know, we make everything from scratch down in Hudson, Ohio. So we are launching our it's actually patented stuffed snack and waffles. So we take our traditional butter maple waffle that we talked about earlier, that has the whole grain component, that's got 6 grams of protein. This is slightly less, and we stuff it with a chicken sausage and cheese. And so what that fulfills is a 1.5 grain or 1.25 grain. We're still finalizing that, but 1.25 grain, 1 meat. It's about a 2.2 ounce serving. Comes individually wrapped, as you can see here. We're still working on the branded film, but it will be in slightly branded film like our traditional waffles, or bulk. I know some people are going away from bulk, but super easy reconstitution. Thought out, it's maybe 12 minutes at 350.
Nice.
So super easy, quick, grab and go, holds really well in the warmer. And you can see kind of there's a little bit of a cut shot. It's easier to see when you're up close. Better yet, the taste.
Yes. the taste,
And we've
for sure.
had, probably close to 50 sample respondents so far in all our, off the chart.
Yes, we love this. So again, communicate. If you're interested in samples, contact our friends here. We'll put it in the post recap and in the chat. Eric Smith at Arlington Valley Farms. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
I am excited. Also, if you haven't been looking out in the world of like trendy items, when we brought this item up, this item made me really excited. First of all, it looks like, what perhaps many you, I, and others have fond memories of college dorm room
Yes.
ramen noodle festivals as you're studying.
Yeah.
But we wanted something that was whole grain, and what woodles are in. And so Holly brought a sample. I know you all are seeing this out in some of the national, like the Digizine. We were just an author in. They did a nice piece on the woodle product. Talk to us a little bit about this, and I'm going to share my idea with that chicken over there.
Yes, yes. So some of you have already seen this. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice. But this item comes in dry. It's packaged just like this. And then we were playing around with it and testing it with a couple schools and trying to figure out what's the best way. How am I going to portion this? How am I going to cook it? And we were talking about it earlier with Tina. The way that I found that's the easiest is if you take a full pan and then put a perforated pan in it, and then just put the noodles in it, pour hot water over it and let it sit for a few minutes. They cook up just like regular ramen do. They cook up really fast, and then just lift up the pan, the perforated pan, and you're ready to go. So that was so much easier than pouring water and draining and all that stuff. They hold really nice. I've sampled them even with my kids, and they didn't notice that they were whole grain, because usually I get, is that your work food?
I love it.
And nobody noticed that it was whole grain. So I think these will be a great addition. Like you said, we want to talk about a couple different menu ideas.
Yeah, we're ready to get recipe developing on these. And for one of the ideas, I love a good pho bowl. And so I'm thinking of putting that with like a nice amount of broth, but even sprinkling some fresh herbs on it, like some cilantro. And then I like, that heat.
Yes.
What is the heat that's on the pho bowl? I don't know what it is, but anyway, I'm going to be researching that, and we're going to be creating some pre-made ideas on toppers and ramen noodle bars to help serve your kids. Again, if you're thinking something is coming off because commodities, this might be something good to try now. And so communicate. I know both of these products are new We need to invite our Gordon Food Service people to the table and communicate if we intend to, what we would be using in volume, and we are anxious to get these in the pipeline for all. So I'm going to invite anybody up who wants to come. So my team definitely has to come, but I am so excited about the next slide because you guys have waited and there's like 1 minute left in our hour-long show, but we have to reveal our mystery chef. So this is our second annual effort at this. And, you know, it takes a village and it takes partners like Sandridge to allow us to come and pack some mystery boxes, and Gordon Food Service to get in here, Roger, and Nicole to kind of get all the products that we are excited, but we won't tell you what they are because it's mystery chef. For these schools that have signed up to be participants in the second annual mystery chef competition. So here is the list of schools, and I'm gonna let Sarah announce them because she's done a ton of work on this. I haven't said a word today, so
All right, thank you so much. We are so excited for everybody that is participating this year. As Maureen said, I've been very excited working on all of this in the background. So we have North Royalton participating, Plain Local, Jackson Local, Hudson City Schools, Cuyahoga Heights, Kenston, our friends at Crestwood, Maple Heights, Independence, Fairview Park, Stone Monroe Falls, and Woodbridge. So we look forward to seeing all of your creations. And I have to say, the box is really good this year.
We're pumped. We are pumped about this box.
Yep.
Save the date for those of you who are interested in seeing who wins. We will be announcing that at our last of the year, school year, What's Up Wednesday Live, which will be March the 6th. So please pencil in that save the date. We want you to celebrate all of these great contestants. We strove for increasing to 15 and you guys showed up. So we want you to show up for them. Celebrate this. Again, for those of you who are new to this, this will result in a nice electronic cookbook with ideas, not just from Pasonic, but from your peers. So we love the idea of working together as a village, joining all the forces together to make you all successful. And we, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for spending an hour of your precious time with us today. I know our last slide always says go back to work, and I know we all are busy. So we're going to go back to work. You go back to work. And again, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you in March. Good luck, contestants.
Bye.
Bye-bye.